I ran a story coming in from Germany from a credible source of Bayern Munich that Arsenal's defender, versatile defender, Tomiyasu, 25 years of age, 24, 25 years of age, he is being targeted by Bayern Munich because of his versatility to come out and obviously solve every problem in the right back, left back, right-sided, and the left-sided part of the central defense. And Arteta has gone ahead and obviously spoken to us and told us how much he's fighting to keep Tomiyasu at the club of Arsenal. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. Second video of the day. Today is really going to be a very heartfelt day because how many hours from now, from the time of recording, the biggest game of the weekend, I think it's 3.5 hours from the time of recording. That's when this beautiful game of football is obviously going to be taking place at the Etihad. Man City versus Liverpool. I'm having lots of words coming in from Pep Guardiola and Bernardo Silva coming in through and obviously explaining to us their plan of how not giving Arsenal a chance to obviously go ahead of them like they were last time, because it reached a time when Arsenal was like 13 points, 11, 8 ahead of Man City, and Bernardo Silva has gone ahead and told us the meeting they held to see to it that they don't allow to be behind Arsenal as they were last season, because they anticipated that teams like Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur would be also making the race for the trophy. And I think he was right. And Pep Guardiola has gone ahead and also had something to say about Liverpool and has gone ahead to declare them as title contenders this season. And he's the best manager that has ever gone ahead to face the wrath of Liverpool, because on 3 occasions, Liverpool has seen themselves really win the trophy. Sorry, Man City have seen themselves win the trophy. They've won it on the last day because Liverpool was giving them a chase for the Premier League title. So let's see close to 200 likes much in this video. This is the Football News Show. Rokani David is my name. You can as well call me Aradi. Not so? And hope you guys are really doing great anywhere you are. And this is what we do here onto this channel. And we thank God for the gift of life, the Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. And let's obviously set the ball rolling. Now, after running that story of Bayern Munich wanting to sign Tomiyasu at the club of Arsenal, Arteta had to be posed a question to him about the future of Takahiro Tomiyasu. And this is what Arteta had to say. I really want Tomiyasu to stay. I value the player a lot. I really like him. I think he's loved and respected by everybody at the club. He's getting a lot of minutes now. He's getting his availability to the level that we need for him to make an impact in the team, and I think he'll continue to be with us. So, Arteta is fighting hard to keep this player. That is it. You know, Tomiyasu is one of those players that is going to hate to come in through and really put in a very good push at Arsenal, but injuries just saw him really get out of that team of Arsenal. And even right now, you have no assurance and guarantee that he is a first choice player at Arsenal, you know, but he's getting minutes in his legs, and he has gone ahead to obviously showed us that in certain hard games, Zinchenko is not played as a left back, and it's Tomiyasu that comes in through to play as the left back. And when you look at the game they're going to play today later in the evening, Tomiyasu might start ahead of Zinchenko, as I did into my match preview, because I believe they will need that defensive force of Tomiyasu and aggressiveness and the physicality that Zinchenko lacks. It's what the opponents of Brentford really bring up on the field of play, and that is something that Zinchenko really lacks. So Arteta is trying to fight tooth and nail to keep this player, and he loves him. You've read his words, you've heard his words very well. He likes the player, and Bayern Munich are also trying to push and convince the player. And guys, I told you, when you're nearing any transfer window, whether a winter or summer transfer window, never say never to anything. Anything can happen. He's 25 years of age. He was brought in at Arsenal from Bologna, and I think Arsenal paid like 20 million euros. Those were 18 million pounds. His contract runs until 2025 with a further option of 1 year. Now, as we head into 2024, that means he'll be left with just 2 years on his contract. And Arsenal don't want to see to it that this player obviously leaves enters his last year of his contract when they're not going to have to obviously agree on a deal. And with the performances Tomiyasu is putting in through, very many teams are really attracted. You might even hear teams like Real Madrid coming in through for this player, teams like Barcelona coming in through for this player, because when Julian Timber really returns, it's going to be very hard for Takahiro Tomiyasu to get into the starting 11 of Arsenal, because the right back is going to be Ben White, the left back is going to be Julian Timber, central defense, Saliba, and Gabriel Magalhaes. I think the playing time of Takahiro Tomiyasu is going to reduce, when Julian Timber really comes back. So Arteta is trying to convince this guy to obviously extend his contract by maybe 2 or 3 years at Arsenal, because he's 25, and it's better to see it that he joins the likes of Gabriel Magalhaes, Ramsdale, though he's not happy, Bukayo Saka, Martin Odegaard, William Saliba, Gabriel Martinelli, Declan Rice, all those players that Arsenal are really performing. They've gone ahead to extend their contracts until 2028. So 2028 from the time of really signing, that means they went ahead to extend their contract for 5 more years at Arsenal. And I think if you put him on a long contract of 5 years, you really give him an improvement of his salary at Arsenal. That will be something where that can convince him to obviously stay at the club of Arsenal. But all in all, it's Arteta fighting to convince him, because he knows that he's operating and getting in minutes at the club of Arsenal because of a player not being around. And that player is Julian Timber, because Arteta prefers Julian Timber to be played as the left back. And I don't know how he's going to juggle it up, even when Thomas Partey is back, Julian Timber is back, because Thomas Partey used to be played as a right back. Is he going to get Gabriel Magalhaes back on the bench and drifts Ben White back in the central defense? No one knows. So Arteta just has to find himself in a position of really convincing Tomiyasu to stay, and every player will like to be playing game in, game out. When you look at Bayern Munich, it's really a very huge attractive side for Tomiyasu, though he cannot come out and obviously say it out loud, but his agent is really happy that his player is being recognized by Thomas Tuchel at the side of Bayern Munich. And trust me, Thomas Tuchel is going to obviously meet this player, and in January we are obviously going to hear a very huge movement, and that's why Arteta is fighting, because he knows that there is a reason for Tomiyasu not to be convinced to obviously get what we call a lot of there is a lot of reasons heaped up in Tomiyasu's mind for not putting pen to paper on new contract at Arsenal, because of the way Arsenal is playing. The beauty at Arsenal is they don't have players that really get injured, especially in that central defense. Apart from Julian Timber. But imagine a season where you're having Julian Timber, Tomiyasu, and Zinchenko, and they're all vying for that position of the left back. Maybe sometimes he'll start Julian Timber on the right back and then play Tomiyasu on the left back. But that is not guaranteed for Tomiyasu to obviously be getting enough playing time at the side of Arsenal. So Arteta is fighting to convince this guy to obviously keep it up at the club of Arsenal. Let's wait and see how his convincing will go. Whether he'll convince him to stay, or Tomiyasu will say, I'm not putting pen to new paper. I'm not putting pen to paper until I feel like I'm a starter into this team, because Arsenal is really going to look in for another player, by the way. They might be looking in for another left-footed player, So we wait and see how that pans out. Whether he turns out to be an understudy for William Saliba, something he won't really like, because at 25, when you hit your prime, you will obviously want to be playing game in, game out. Now, after that, let's obviously trot down to the city of Manchester. Bernardo Silva has something to say ahead of the game they're going to play against Liverpool today. He has said, we had a conversation at the beginning of the season because we wanted to try and start the season well. Last season, we put ourselves in a difficult situation, 7 or 8 points behind Arsenal, and it's not nice feeling because you have to go after them. We needed to start the season well, but ourselves in a good put ourselves in a good position to win the league and not go after Arsenal, Liverpool, or Tottenham Hotspur. We are trying to work on that and win as many as many games as possible. Now, obviously, it was not something good for the side of Man City, because it reached an extent when Arsenal was like 12 points ahead of Man City. At a point, they were 11, then 8, then 6, until when Arsenal bottled the league. That is it. But this time round, Man City don't want to give them that chance, and they've gone ahead to obviously start it off well. They are topping the league with how many points? They're really having 28 points. Arsenal and Liverpool are having 27, and this result, or this game of football they're obviously going to play today, is really having a lot of meaning in it. It's holding a lot of water for the side of Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester City plus Tottenham Hotspur. Because let me paint this scenario very well. If Man City win, they'll be 4 points ahead of Arsenal and Liverpool, and then they'll be 5 points ahead of Tottenham Hotspur. You know, Arsenal is going to play out Brentford. If at all Arsenal doesn't win, then that gap will increase. If Arsenal wins, then that gap will be closed back to 1 point. You understand? Then, if Man City draws with Liverpool, then Arsenal wins. Arsenal goes on top at 30 points. So, what Bernardo Silva is hinting on is that he doesn't want to see Arsenal be 8 points ahead of them, 7, 9, 10. They really want to keep them in an arm's distance where they can obviously close up that side and wait and see how that's going to pan out. But I think there is a gear that Arsenal is yet to put in, and Man City are the usuals who have gone ahead to show us that they can obviously put in that gear anytime it's needed. So for Man City, the gear is needed every time they hit the last quarter of the season. Then he has gone ahead to obviously won the side of Liverpool. He said the energy that the Man City crowd creates at the Etihad is unbelievable, and again against Liverpool we are going to try and create this special atmosphere to push us again, knowing we are playing against a very tough opponent. Obviously they are playing against a very tough opponent, but at Etihad they've gone ahead to beat Liverpool. You know, Liverpool last won at Etihad 8 years back. That was 2015, in the first season of Jurgen Klopp. That is it. Now, it has taken them 8 years without winning at Etihad. So, can they obviously come up with that midfield that is really porous without a CDM like Fabinho in it and obviously thrive? That's going to be the huge question that Jurgen Klopp has to answer, and the crowd is obviously going to be rocking and supporting that side of City. And that's why I told you that I don't see Liverpool winning this game. The best they can get is a draw, but 50% I'm giving it to the side of City. But according to what we saw at the Stamford Bridge, Man City is swallowing in that much of goals. You don't rule out what we call a win for Liverpool, you know, though it's at a percentage of 10. A draw, 30%, a win for Man City, 60%. So to me, I believe City are the favorites to win this game, but Liverpool can obviously shock City because Liverpool are really good at getting at the goal of Man City. And if at all they are clinical and they defend good, they can obviously create havoc for Pep Guardiola at the City side. And I've never seen an easy team to beat this season like City. City has never been easy to beat like this season because they are really predictable. Without Kevin De Bruyne, you can obviously stop their attack and obviously hit them on the break. And I know Liverpool obviously going to play a little bit of a low block and then try to hit them on the break with the pace of Salah, Diaz, and Cody Gakpo. Now, Pep Guardiola has gone ahead and said last season Liverpool had a lot of problems in terms of injury. They have no Champions League this season. Liverpool have always been there. Maybe they have the ability to do it. Liverpool will be contenders 100%. Both teams in the last 7 years have been there. Absolutely, Liverpool are Premier League last 8 years have been there. Absolutely, Liverpool are PL title contenders. Arsenal too. Spurs, I think they will be there. Chelsea have one game a week. So far of 5 contenders are there. Newcastle may join. Man United will maybe join. Many things can happen. And this is where I respect this guy, and he's speaking out of experience. when he talks about Newcastle, he talks about when he talks about Newcastle and talks about Manchester United, people will say, what is he talking about? He's even talking about Chelsea. But when you look at the Premier League table and the points that Man United is really having and Newcastle, there is no way you say that they cannot obviously join the title race. Let me try to obviously find this table and really flash it over to you, the viewers of the Rokani Media Football, because he has gone ahead to hint about something very important, and it's really good for us to obviously talk about it. Look at this Premier League table. Look at this Premier League table. Man City has gone ahead to play 12 games. They're having 28 points. Now, teams like Man United are 7 points behind Manchester City. Newcastle is 8 points behind Manchester City. And Chelsea is 12 points behind Manchester City. But for Chelsea, they are playing 1 game a week. And most of their players are returning. Nkunku is back. Romeo Lavia is going to be back. So their squad is obviously going to be very strong. And if at all they go ahead and obviously bring in players in the January transfer window, then they might obviously turn out to be a hard nut to crack. And remember, we've played 12 games. We still have 26 games to go. And those 26 games comprise of 26 games to go. 26 times 3, 18, comprised of 78 points. So 78 points are really huge. If they can get like 69 of those points, trust me, that puts them to 85. Arsenal finished second with 85 points and Man City had 89. So never say never for Liverpool. And for Manchester United, they're just 7 points behind Manchester City, and they can obviously put in a shift. You never know when United is obviously going to get to play well, because for any team, in every season, there is a time they obviously get that run. And if at all that run comes in through, then it can obviously be there. So this man is speaking out of experience, and I'm going to hate obviously see how broad-eyed and outside looking he is, that he is Pep Guardiola. So guys, your thoughts on Arteta fighting to keep Tomiyasu at Arsenal are welcome in the comment section below. Do you think Tomiyasu should extend his contract at Arsenal or he should leave? What do you make about Bernardo Silva coming in through and obviously revealing us the plan of not wanting Arsenal to be really far off from them and Liverpool? And lastly, what do you make about Pep Guardiola, declaring Arsenal and Liverpool title contenders and hoping Chelsea, Man United and Newcastle to join the party? May the living to God bless you abundantly. Rokani David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. The Muslims Barakallahu Fikum. Second video of the day, action-packed day, and we are returning with a live video, match day live, as we bring you the confirmed starting 11 of those teams that are obviously going to take on Manchester City versus Liverpool.